which brings us to everybody's favorite part of the show. It's the part of the show that constantly gets talked about. It's constantly in the news. I saw it in the local newspaper of lies and smears. I don't know why it was in that section, but it was in that section. It is, of course, the one, the only, the picks. Let's get the music going. Classic. Right here. Classic. So, sent in the picks as per usual. We will take a look. All right. Thursday Night Football. We have an example of what I like to call football terrorism, in that it is a crime against football. The Chargers visiting division rival, the Rams. Seth is taking his Los Angeles Chargers to San Diego, and I am going to not agree because the Chargers today, it was announced Justin Herbert is dead. He just, his hand is broken or his finger is broken or something. So he's done for the season. And the Raiders, for as bad as they are, I do think that they're going to be able to win this game. They're not playing great football, but I think in theory they can play a better game. It's going to be an ugly game. You're going to have two not starter quarterbacks playing one another in a primetime game. Amazon, please. I don't know what you're doing. You're killing Al Michaels. You need to stop. It's criminal. Then we got some Saturday showdowns. The Vikings visiting the Kitties in Cincinnati. The Bengals. Seth is taking the Kitties, and I am going to agree. The Browning effect is real. He's not terrible, but he's not amazing either. He's just he exists, basically. And that is more than I can say about the Vikings offense. I'm not sure they could score a touchdown. I really am not sure. And the Bengals are still technically fighting for a playoff spot. Vikings also still technically fighting for a playoff spot, but I don't think they're going to be able to pull this game off on the road. Give me the Browning effect in Cincy. Up next, the Steelers head to Indy, taking on the Colts. Seth is taking the Steelers, and I'm going to disagree here as well. I'm going to take the Colts. Look, the Steelers, they can't score in a whorehouse. Like, they are so bad, and obviously you don't have Kenny Pickett, so you're running with Mitch Trubisky. And if we're talking about the battle of backups, give me Minshew Mania over Mitch Trubisky. I mean, like, it's in Indy. Again, Indy is like a weird good team. They are in the playoffs, I believe. Or if they're not in the playoffs, they're certainly in the hunt. So, yeah, give me the Colts. Give me the Horsies. And finally on Saturday night, prime time, the Broncos visiting the Lions. Seth is taking the Lions. Did I not loop? Oh, no, I did. Never mind, I'm good. I thought I didn't loop the music. We're good. Yeah, I am going to agree. I'm going to take the Lions. I don't want to bet against the Lions because that just makes things sad. The Lions are not playing their best football right now, and the Broncos, unfortunately, they got the win over the weekend over the Chargers, whom, frankly, I don't think are that good of a team. But the Lions coming back home, they play much better out of the elements. Certainly Jared Goff does. And this is a game where you have the master playing the young Padawan, so to speak. Dan Campbell, of course, coming from the Sean Payton coaching tree. And I think Dan Campbell is going to know a lot of his old tricks. Whereas, I mean, I suppose Sean Payton might know something about Dan Campbell, obviously, having trained him. But I usually like the proteges beating the masters. At least in the case of the Belichick tree, that seemed to always happen. But give me the Lions over the Broncos. Up next, the Falcons taking on the Panthers. And again, another example of football terrorism. Seth is going to take the Falcons, and I'm going to agree. If you ever take the Panthers in anything, it better be to not hit the over because they're one of, if not the single worst football team right now. Bryce Young looks absolutely awful. And I got to say, like, to the people who still believe in Bryce Young, it's rough out here in the streets. I don't necessarily totally disbelieve in his ability, but I don't really believe that he is the guy necessarily. He's going to need some help. They're going to need to build that team, but he is in no environment to develop well right now. So give me the Falcons to win an awful game. I do not envy people who have to watch that game. That's not going to be good. The Bears heading to Cleveland, taking on the Brownies. Seth is taking the Brownies, and This is actually kind of a tougher game because the Bears, they want to play a little bit of spoiler, I would imagine. Browns are not great on offense, but that defense is so good. Although it's been a little sus. It's been a little sus, in my opinion. I don't know how... You know what? I'll just go with the Browns. I'll go with the home team. The Browns are still fighting for a playoff spot, I believe, so their season is certainly not over, whereas the Bears certainly closer to being over than it is to being in life. So, yeah, I'll take the Browns. Give me the Elves. Up next, the Buccaneers taking on the Pack in Green Bay. Seth taking the Packers. Yeah, I will agree. I think Jordan Love probably has a bounce-back game. Now, if Jordan Love has another bad game and the Buccaneers manage to win this game, again, the Buccaneers, they are fighting for that division. Like, they're in the playoffs, and they certainly want to win that division and get a home playoff game. So, they're going to be playing to win, and they're going to be playing tough. It's not an easy Buccaneers team. They're kind of sneaky. But it's on the road, in the elements, mid-December. This is not a good combination. Yeah, I'm going to take the Pack, win this game. Up next, the Jets taking on the Finns. Little Black Friday rematch. Seth is taking the Dolphins. Now, the problem with this game is you don't have Tyreek Hill, but you know what I say to that? Or, well, we don't know if he'll have Tyreek Hill. You probably, assuming that you don't, I don't really care. The Jets are terrible. Zach Wilson is not going to have another good game. I don't think he's ever had 2 good games in a row. So, yeah, give me the Finns. Tua hopefully has another good game. Even if he doesn't have his guy in Tyreek Hill, I think he's still going to probably light up. Or at least, maybe not necessarily light up, but score enough points to where Zach Wilson is not going to win you that game. So, give me the Finns. Up next, the Giants taking on the Saints. Seth is taking, looking for it, the Giants. And you know what? I agree. I don't know what it is, but the G-men have figured it out. I don't know how they're doing it, because it's not pretty, and Tommy DeVito is not good. But they're winning games. And frankly, I trust them at this point more than I trust the Saints. The Saints can win games against bad teams. That's true. They can beat the Sails off the Panthers. They can't beat teams that are even decently good. And I don't think the Giants are decently good. I think they're decently bad. Like they are below average, but they're a little above where I think the Saints are. Technically speaking, the Saints still can win, can still make the playoffs and win their division, but I don't know. I believe in Tommy DeVito at this point. I don't know. He's got some magical power where he's just able to make other teams collapse. So give me the G-Men. Up next, the Texans taking on division rival Titans. I don't know if CJ Stroud is going to play in this game. Seth is taking the Texans. You know, I think they're going to lose this game, unfortunately. I don't know about CJ Stroud's status, and Will Levis got to be feeling good after that win. Passing for over 300 yards, game-winning drive, the whole shebang. Titans still fighting for that division as well, and I believe still fighting for a playoff spot. I think they got something. I think it's not impossible, and especially if you don't have CJ Stroud, and I believe Tank Dell is. Or wait, was that last week? Was that last week that Tank Dell went down? I think that was last week. It's certainly a weakened Texans team than when they were getting hot. So I'll take the Titans, get the win here over Texans. Up next, the Chiefs versus the Patriots in New England. Seth is taking the Chiefs, and I will also take the Chiefs because I'm not an idiot. I mean, this is the worst Patriots team I've ever seen. Their season is over. They're out of the playoffs. They got nothing to lose at this point. They're probably just going to starting a bunch of players they don't really care about because they're going to try to play spoiler, and this Chiefs team is not that good, but they're light years ahead of where that Patriots team is. And Patrick Mahomes wants to have another good game against Bill Belichick. So give me the Chiefs to win this game. Up next, the Niners visiting their division rival Cardinals in Arizona. Seth is taking the 49ers. Yeah, it's pretty much the 49ers game season to lose at this point. I don't think the Cardinals will win another game at this point. I don't even know who their quarterback is. Oh yeah, Kyler Murray. He's back. I forgot that he's back. It might be an interesting game for maybe 5 or so minutes, and then the Niners will just grab the bird by the neck and just rip its head off, and that's not going to look good. certainly not going to be good for national audiences. So, yeah, take the Niners in that game. Up next, the Commies, the Commanders, heading to LA, taking on the Rams. Seth taking the Rams in this one. I will agree. Rams playing for the playoffs. Commanders, I don't know if you believe in defense. I don't know if that's like a thing you acknowledge as a part of the game, but clearly it has not been a factor for the Commanders in several weeks at this point. So yeah, give me the Rams. I think if Stafford can play the kind of game that he did last week against the Ravens, I think he's got a shot to win another game, and I think he's certainly got a shot to make the playoffs. So give me the Rams. Up next, the Cowboys heading to Buffalo, taking on the Bills. This should be a tougher game, I think, for the Cowboys. Seth is taking the Cowboys. It's going to be in the elements. It's obviously going to be freezing cold in Buffalo early December. It's not a place you want to play at this time of the year. Certainly not, near the evening. I believe that's the 4 o'clock game. So I still will take the Cowboys. Right now, they're just playing too good to ignore it. And they've just come off of, the blowout win to the Eagles. I think they're feeling really good. Bills on offense have a trouble figuring it out. And I think that Cowboys defense is going to take advantage of it. So give me dem boys to win that game. Up next, Sunday Night Football. Ravens visiting the Jaguars. Seth is taking the Birds. And I will agree. I mean, Lamar, again, he's trying to prove himself. I know it's not going to be an easy game, but it's not really like an elements game. You're going down to Jacksonville. It's still pretty warm down there, even at Sunday night. Duval's not an easy place to play. I don't know what's up with that Jags defense, and I think if that Jags defense continues to play the way that it does, I think Lamar's going to have a fun time. I think Lamar, Odell, Zay Flowers, all of them cats, Mark Andrews is dead. I forgot about that. All of them cats are going to have a good time. So, not the Jaguars, not those cats. The cats in the figurative way. So, yeah, give me the Birds. And finally, Monday Night Football, the Battle of the Birds. The Eagles versus the Seahawks. Seth is taking the Eagles. I am going to steer away from the beaten path. I'm going to take the Seahawks. I think this is going to be a tougher game. On the road, Seattle, it's not going to be warm in that region of the country. Not going to be fun weather, and back-to-back blowout losses is concerning for me. I believe Geno will be playing. I don't think he's hurt still. No, he's good. Geno's playing. And I don't know. I think the Seahawks are certainly playing for the playoffs. Eagles probably feel a little bit more comfortable, but no, I don't know. I got a feeling about this game. I can't really explain it. I just think the Seahawks are going to come away with the win there. So to wrap it up, here we go. Chargers, Raiders. Seth is taking the Chargers. I am taking the Raiders. Vikings, Bengals. We are both taking the Bengals. Steelers, Colts. Seth is taking the Steelers. I am taking the Colts. Broncos, Lions. We are both taking the Lions. Falcons, Panthers. We are both taking the Falcons. Bears, Browns. We are both taking the Browns. Buccaneers, Packers. We are both taking the Packers. Jets, Dolphins. We are both taking the Dolphins. Giants, Saints. We are both taking the Giants. Texans, Titans. Seth is taking the Texans. I am taking the Titans. Chiefs, Patriots. We are both taking the Chiefs. 49ers, Cardinals. We are both taking the 49ers. Commanders, Rams. We are both taking the Rams. Cowboys, Bills. We are both taking the Cowboys. Ravens, Jaguars. We are both taking the Ravens. And finally, Eagles, Seahawks. Seth is taking the Eagles. I am taking the Seahawks. And those are your picks. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.